You like that theme song better?
I do.
Okay, great. So, Shelby, today is what they call Quitter's Day.
Yes.
But before we get to that, are you into Stranger Things at all?
No. I Googled it.
And that's
My
all
kids
you
wanted
know?
to watch it. I told them it wasn't for them.
No. It's
So,
not. It's not. I don't think it's for the Vibrant residents.
no. So, because of that, only other time I would watch it is after they go to bed, and I got other things
So
to do.
the reason I
watch.
asked is because I'm wearing my Purple Rain shirt today.
You are. Yeah.
And Purple Rain was featured in the last episode of the series. And it's a good song, and so I wore it today in honor of Purple Rain.
Glad you did. I'm wearing my heavy coat because it's cold.
Yes.
It's cold outside.
In case you can't see it. There it is.
Yeah.
All right, so it's the 9th of January already.
Yeah. It's Quitter's Day.
Quitter's Day.
Do you know what I love about today?
What's that?
You have no clue what we're going to talk about.
That is 100% correct.
I had someone ask me like a week ago, did you prepare for your podcast? And I don't know which podcast they were talking about. But the reality is, even the one that I filmed with KWRI, I wasn't allowed to prepare for. We didn't prepare for this last time.
Nope.
But you did prep the conversation. So last time I was in the hot seat not knowing what we were going to talk about.
Correct.
Today you're in the hot seat.
I'm ready.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, so here's the thing that I'm thinking about. It's January 9th.
Yes, it is.
All right. What that means is we're at the, front end of the year. And most people have a plan for the year.
Right.
And I want to talk about being an entrepreneur. Okay. Let's say you line up 100 entrepreneurs. Are they all wired the same?
No.
Okay. So the reason this is relevant for me is my plan changed this year. I'm accustomed to having work as like the top priority on my plan. This year, it's the bottom priority on my plan. I don't know that I would advise that for everyone. I think that there are generically two types of people who have decided to become entrepreneurs. Those that are far too disciplined, and therefore maybe their plan needs to shift into other areas of their life. We've oftentimes talked about the book, The One Thing, which is for business leaders, right? And there's 7 different areas of your life that you should be cognizant of what your health score is in each one. What are some of those 7 things?
Job,
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
health,
Yeah.
personal life,
Yeah.
finances.
Yeah. Yeah. Something along those lines. Point being, there's a group of entrepreneurs that really probably need to spend more time focused on things that are not work related. And that's the season I'm in. I built out my plan that prioritizes work last versus first, like I've done every other year. Then there's another group of entrepreneurs. And I was talking with actually a real estate agent that was interviewing with us the other day, and she was asking, why people join a team. And I said, well, you can go be an individual agent or you can be a team agent. As an individual agent, you have to, pay for all of these things and do all of these things. And people who are typically wired for a team want us to do those things for them. And sometimes entrepreneurs in any business need accountability and coaching and need someone to help them stay disciplined, because a lot of entrepreneurs come into whatever business they come into with more passion than discipline. And passion will lead you somewhere, but the only way to continue to grow or scale is typically through some kind of discipline. And so sometimes people need structure and accountability and metrics and all of those things. But this year for me, that's actually what it's least about. What are your thoughts about how you have your best life this year?
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Well, I think in anyone who is successful is attached to something.
Okay.
And either it's attached to something that's outside of themselves or internal. And if you are attached to something and it's consistent, then I think that becomes your driver. And I think the best driver is starting with the one that's internal, because that's the one that controls everything else. If the self-care, right, is critical. And it's surprising how much that when you take care of yourself, everything else improves in your life. And I'm not just talking about eating well. I'm talking about the whole entire thing, working out, having, your own systems, eating better, being present at home or wherever it is. It's critical, I think, for your overall success. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how could you take care of the people you care about? And so I applaud you, and I think that that's really fantastic that you're doing that this year. Now, my question to you, back to you now, is who and how are you going to hold yourself accountable to that?
I actually think that last time we talked about this, not about this particularly, but we talked about what my answer is going to be. And that is, for me, my calendar is a system. So I've got, Google Calendar on my laptop and on my phone, but I also have a visual calendar in my office. You've seen it.
Right.
I also have a document that my husband and I share that we outline what's happening in January, February, March, April, So I had to create a system personally behind making sure that I was going to be focused on things outside of work. So for the first time, I am making myself take some time away by myself, not with anyone I know, once a quarter. So the accountability is the plane ticket or the Airbnb or, going up to Montana in February. I'm going to Hume Lake in April, right? Like I booked it, I paid for it. And so I'm not going to back out now.
That's probably one of my secrets to success. I remember, and so do you probably, is remember when I got into golf right after COVID? And I spent a lot of money on golf clubs, and I said, damn, if I spent this much money on golf clubs, I'm going to use the crap out of these things.
For sure.
Right? And I did for like 3 years until I didn't get any better. But I enjoyed it, right? And that was really good to get out at the time. And then back to the mental health, physical health, I bought a tonal like a little over a year ago. And that tonals are not cheap. If you know that, Google it, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'm going to buy this, I'm going to use it. And I think it's important what you said is kind of that pain versus pleasure concept.
Yep. I've been reading about that lately. Sometimes the pain has to get so uncomfortable that it's more uncomfortable than avoiding or ignoring. I think the other thing you can do in terms of accountability is say things out loud.
Oh, let everyone else know what you're doing.
Let everybody else know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're going to get asked. And I'm going to be the last person that says, oh, I didn't do it.
So then when are you going to start telling people what you're doing?
I already have.
Okay. Where?
I have told my coach,
Okay.
my business coach, Jordan Freed, shout out. And I have told the entire team. So, I have plenty of people who are checking in on me.
So speaking of the telling the team,
Yeah.
on Wednesday,
Yeah.
we had our team kickoff meeting
We did.
where we did what that led you to tell the entire team.
We did Word of the Year. Is that what you're referring
That's
to?
exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So Gina, one of the gals on our team that has been with us for a long time, she led us through our 6th annual Word of the Year
Wild.
exercise. But this year, we decided to do it all in one day. So everybody was in the back. Everybody was putting together their Word of the Year on a board or on a piece of paper. They were getting all crafty. And then everyone went around and said what their Word of the Year was and why. And here's the funny thing. I am not a conformist. I've never said that to you before.
What's your definition of conformist?
I don't like doing things that everybody does. So I had to really spend some quiet time with myself Literally every year I have to do this around this concept of the word of the year, because so many people I know do it, that it can become impersonal if you just do it because everybody's doing it. And so I think it's really important that there's reflection layered into choosing your word of the year. And I think that our team was very, very good about that, right? The things that I said that I was going to do out loud, the actions that I was going to take, I was going to take, were stemmed from the word that I chose.
Which was?
Seek. My word is seek.
Attached to a Bible verse?
Yes, attached to a Bible verse.
Yeah.
And really what it means is that I am by nature a person that likes to help everybody and fix everything and be the solution. And oftentimes that, there's an emotional cost to leadership that we don't talk about a lot.
Maybe we should next week.
Well, there's just sometimes there's this weight that I carry because I want to just make sure everyone and everything around me is functioning at a high level. And I don't want that to change. And I think sometimes when people burn out, they think they have to change who they are. I don't want to change my empathy for people or my operational excellence that I walk around thinking, how do I make us better or make this thing better or scale this? I don't want to change any of that. I just know that part of my DNA does also lead to burnout. That's okay, as long as I'm aware enough to create boundaries, or like I'm doing this year, once a quarter, just say, hey, I got to get away for a few days to spend some time recharging. So, yeah, I guess that's what I would refer
when
to.
you said that you have a innate gift to want to take care of people and help people.
I didn't say gift.
What'd you say?
Desire.
Okay. So when you said you have an innate desire to help people, how do you think diving into yourself this year is going to enable you to help others better?
Well, I think that if I don't stop long enough, I hate the word to care for me, to recharge. I'm going to use that word.
Okay.
I tend to get short-tempered.
Okay.
You've probably seen that.
No comment.
And or experienced that.
No comment.
And so I don't want to be short-tempered.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, oh, wow, I've got something going on over here. I don't think that that's really a healthy perspective or outlook or approach or position, if you will. And I can see it in myself sometimes. And it's a signal that I just need to, withdraw for a little bit, reset.
With your recharge, reset, refine year with Seek and taking care of Shelby so that you can take care of the people you care about at a higher level. At the end of the year, if you were to say that was a really successful year, then what would you say would need to have happened so that you could say, I came out of that year doing what I said I was going to do?
I think I will know because my relationships will be healthier and I'll have more inner peace and I'll exude more joy and I'll return to and operate from my heart.
So you said joy.
I did.
On top of doing Word of the Year on Wednesday, we also had a special guest here.
We did. Gosh. Yeah.
Who basically is one of the most joyful people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. How many speaking engagements do we sit in front of every year? Like speakers do we hear from?
In person?
Yeah.
Probably 10 to 15.
Yeah. And usually I'm sitting there like taking copious notes because they're content-rich messages, right? And I don't want to miss bullet points that these people who show up very poised, very prepared, have to give. Here's the deal. The speaker that we had was Taro,
From Mikuni.
owner of Mikuni, which is a sushi empire launched in our local communities in Greater Sacramento in 1987. He didn't have a content-rich message, but this is like a living guy who already has a legacy. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, the questions of like, when we die, what do we want people to think of us? Or like, if we could write ourselves, if our 80-year-old self could look back. Here's the deal. He's like a living, walking legacy. No one will not remember him for his joy. The guy just exudes it. And if you recall, I asked him a question. I said, hey, for those of us that maybe aren't wired to overcome as quickly, or for those of us that may not just get out of bed joyful, what advice do you have for us? And he was like, I don't know, right? Like he was a little bit stuck because it's his choice every moment of every day, regardless of his wildly difficult circumstances that his business endured twice, not once, but twice, that most would walk away from their business because of or file bankruptcy or, close up shop or whatever. He just doesn't let things bother him.
Right.
I admire that probably more than most speakers I heard all year last year.
One of the things that he had said when he was talking about his joy is he lacks empathy because he is so joyful over the situation.
Yeah. So
given.
Right.
Right. So he used a bunch of examples. But it'd be like, oh, wow, you didn't get that job. Great. Then you can go find a new one.
Yeah. That's how he thinks.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and
bizarre.
so it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
You said action, and action is my word. But before we get there, can we talk about joy?
Sure. I want to revisit something from earlier too, but go ahead.
Joy, and we talked about this in our huddle this morning too, where there's a difference between happiness and joy.
No doubt.
And happiness, I'd said this morning, and I know you agree, has sort of an expiration date on it.
It's circumstantial usually.
Right. Like I will be happy when.
Something happened, like something good happened.
Totally.
That
right?
day.
And you see this a lot where I'll be happy when fill in the blank. I get the new car, I get the house, I get the escrow, I get the whatever.
Yeah.
But that's different than joy, because joy, I think, is found more in the journey, and it kind of is more contagious. Like horror, like when we are happy and we come in the office happy, we're all happy to be here. But you can be happy, and that happiness is contagious. But if you're Taro joy, then that joy is contagious.
Well, so here's what I think is most common. We all come into the office happy. Someone has something that happens that is hard, and it changes the climate. Right now, thankfully, we don't make a choice to do business alone here, and so usually we all wrap our arms around that person and get through it together. But I think that was my greatest learning. My greatest takeaway from Taro is like he just doesn't let hard things affect him. Now, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think he has hard things happen?
Of
or
course.
do you think he's just immune to them?
He shared all the hard things that happened.
So my point is like he's a rare human, and at the same time, I'm not wired that way. Everybody knows, and I've said this a million times, that I'm wired to like withdraw versus overcome. I wish I could change that, and I actually probably have grown instrumentally in that vein. I've learned to overcome quicker, but hearing from Taro actually probably sped that process up for me for potentially the rest of my life, because he's not immune to hard. He's a human like the rest of us. He didn't share all of the hard. He shared a couple of like big business hard or immigration hard or, so how can more of us humans just decide to turn on that switch? Because I think that we should. I think we spend far too much time settling into the hard or the hurt.
Do you think that it's possible that you can't really experience a high level of joy or be joyful or resilient without suffering?
That's an interesting thought. I think it's impossible to get through this life unscathed. And I do think that I hadn't thought about that, Ricky. I bet that he is more joyful because of what he's experienced and the lessons that taught him than had he not experienced hard things.
So that was his journey.
Yeah.
He found joy in his journey.
Yeah.
Right. I interrupted you earlier.
Well, you didn't answer my question.
What was the question?
I said in the beginning, what's your plan? Like, what will make this year for you?
Yep.
What you intend for it to be? Because many of us as entrepreneurs create a plan. Few of us end the year intentionally having achieved the plan. So what's your plan for this year?
Well, my word of the year was action.
Yep.
And action is kind of knowing people are watching. And even on the days when you don't feel like doing it, you don't feel like showing up, but you do anyway, not for them, but for yourself. And so for me, action equates movement. And in our business, the only way to get a transaction is through action. So action equals transaction, which basically means some sort of conversion or some sort of relationship that's built or some sort of opportunity or some sort of new, journey. You can't do that by just sitting and doing nothing. You have to have some sort of action.
So how will you know whether you did what you intended to do with that word at the end of the year? Will there be evidence, or will it just feel like more momentum?
Well, my other words of the year had been things like discipline. And then last year was breathe, which I would probably say that last year was the first time that a word actually stuck with me longer than the day that I presented it. Right? I even put it on my computer. Right? And so this year, I think now that I've helped, like box breathing, by the way, is critical. Like, learning to control your breathing will help you extraordinarily through other moments of your life and things you're going through. And someone who suffers from some form of health anxiety, hypochondriasis is me.
Is that what you call it?
That's what they call it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so breathing, though, really, really helped that. But then I realized that by doing that, it helped me like slower to respond to things that would irritate me, right? Slower to react. And when you do that, you have this ultimate clarity that shows up in your life because you're no longer rushing past things. And so when you see that, you realize all the opportunities that are slipping through your fingers and moments that are coming through and you're just missing out on, that you're not taking action on. And so for you, if your word is seek, you probably are doing that because you're seeing the same thing maybe, but you're like, I got to take care of myself first. I got to take care of myself first. So for me with action, I would say that there's some things that I want to get through the finish line with. And one of them is getting our team to where we want to be on our goals, right? And being more present and taking action in some of the things that I could do better as a partner and as a leader of the organization.
Okay, so let's say that we have 100 entrepreneurs in the room with us. Because we're talking about our word of the year and our plan. But the reality is we spend a lot of time in rooms with tons of opportunities and lots of upside and lots of vision and lots of dreaming and lots of, right? And it's very likely that everybody has a plan. But if we have 100 entrepreneurs in the room, many of them, including us, may struggle staying attached to living out the word, right? Like you said yourself, last year might have been the first year that you held on to the word and did something about the word beyond just the presentation of the word. And I think that was actually the purpose in this conversation in the beginning. Is typically entrepreneurs fall into two groups. One that actually probably needs more coaching and accountability around doing things outside of work, and one that actually needs coaching and accountability around discipline of doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were going to journey with 100 entrepreneurs who all wanted to be really intentional, that they had chosen a word of the year, that they lived out the word of the year, that they had a business plan, that the business plan worked in their favor, like every entrepreneur that we journey with is going to experience challenges along the way, right? Like we have our plan for the team for the year. It's not going to be easy.
Nope.
So how do we help business leaders stay attached? Because today is
Quitter's Day.
Quitter's Day.
Yeah.
How do entrepreneurs stay attached versus quitting? And I don't care if it's quitting on Quitter's Day or whether it's next month or, May or October when you think you have no time left, right? How do you stay attached to your intentions?
Well,
if we wanted to help everybody in the room, right?
Well, we ended this last week on this statement, but I think it's as we have 5 minutes left here, max. And so I would say that failure isn't the problem, right? Failure is not the problem. What matters is how we respond to it. And we talked about that last week. And so, but the challenge with entrepreneurs is most of them fall off track and they start to drift quietly without regular check-ins. And so if you're drifting quietly off of where your compass should be, before you know it, you might be so far behind that it's too late to recover. And so they need to create these regular check-ins with themselves. And so, so it's not failure, it's just awareness of the opportunities that you're missing because you're not regularly checking in on what you said you wanted to do.
So I would argue, though, that it would be a system then, right? Like right before the two of us jumped into this room, I was meeting with 4 of our team agents, and we're going to be meeting every Friday from 11 to 12, right? Talking about the attachment to the plan. So I would say there has to be a system in place to stay attached and people that are aware enough to get in the trench with you and do it with you.
Right. So as we're closing out, do you have anything else to add around that?
No, I think that the purpose of the conversation for me was staying attached to the plan. It is National Failures Day or whatever it is. National, what do you call it? Quitter's Day. And I think it's important to recognize the challenge in not just saying you're not going to quit, but having an audience and a group and a community who will do it with you.
And remember that in business and everything, that setbacks are not stop signs. They're setups.
Yeah.
Right? So setbacks aren't stop signs, they're setups. And you're still very much in the game. And use this time as Quitter's Day to realize, where am I in setting up a system to check in with the results that I said I want?
That's right.
Okay.
And who are the people that are willing to do it with me?
Excellent. Well, it's not too late, everyone. Don't be a quitter. And maybe we'll see you next week if we keep doing this thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. We'll see. What do you mean?
Just
You're going to quit? You're going to quit already?
It's a joke. We'll see them.
All right, we'll see you.
We'll see them next week.